Hello, fellow TBCians, viewers all across the globe. I'd like to welcome you today to this live broadcast. And this is the voice of the TBC Royal Ambassador, broadcasting live from Nigeria. And today we shall be examining this topic. The purpose of TBC is protection. The purpose of TBC is protection. It is often said that once the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. And therefore, it is pertinent today for us to go back to the basis, to bring back into our memory the purpose of TBC. And this topic today, I believe, will be useful to both those that have been on board the TBC for years back and those that are newly coming on board. If we don't remind ourselves of this very topic, find out that some people may be on the verge of being discouraged. That for how long will I continue to wait for the maturity of this coin? But if you know the purpose of the billion coin, no matter how long it takes, you will wait. If you understand why the TBC has been created, you will wait for the maturity. And that is why today we shall be examining this topic together. The purpose of TBC is protection. And I believe every one of us needs protection. Every one of us needs protection. Why? Because the game of life is rigged. Because there are some people that are fighting us secretly, waging war against us secretly. Then you need a protection. Just like the word of God says that we should put on the shield of faith. This is needed. Why? Because of the fiery darts of the enemy. The shield will be used against the fiery darts. And that is why we need TBC, as they are sending their arrows of poverty, arrows of scarcity, arrows of lack and want against the general populace. Then you need the shield of TBC for your protection. You are welcome once again. Let us share the screen now so that we can have a better understanding of this very topic. When we share our screen, we'll have a better knowledge of what we are talking about. Okay, here we are. The purpose of TBC is protection. Now, there you have a video of ants and crickets. If you have your time, you can go over that short video. Looking at that video, the ant, we all know that ants used to fend for themselves, gather food and keep it so that during rainy season, they wouldn't have to go out because they don't have weight. Erosion will wash them away. So they will gather all this and keep their food, try to feed themselves and their family. But you find out that in their colony, crickets will come to attack them to eat their food. And you can see in that video, crickets are very, very big, giant, just like the elites. They will come eat their food, and go away. And when they come, they will say, it's just one little ant. So let's go there and feed. There came to a time when all the ants come together in unity. They won the battle at the end of the day. That is just a little story. I'm sure by the time we go into detailed analysis of that video, you will understand better. Permit me to introduce this, looking at the TBC and the Kringle gold there. TBC coin and the Kringles here. It's not just another cryptocurrency. Innovation has brought you the first abundance based currency. It is quite different from every other cryptocurrencies that we know. Some of them has risen in prices in years back. Today, the value has depreciated that they're almost going into extinction. But for TBC, it is an abundance-based currency, the first of its kind. And this was achieved through innovation. The price of our TBC only goes up, while its infinite unit always remain affordable for the masses to acquire. The Kringles are always affordable to anyone that want to acquire. If you look at this, in those days, you need light, you need to put woods together and then light fire on it. And then you have this one here, and the wood will be burning. Then you have light all around you. From there, it goes to this second one where you put oil in this cruise and then you lit it there. It will be burning, there'll be light all around you. From there, innovation took us to the age of lantern, kerosene lantern or paraffin lantern, depending on where you are hearing me from. Then this kerosene lantern will have a glass around that middle part of it, like a bulb. It is usually very hot when you lit it. The wick will be burning at the center, and then you have light all around you. You can carry it and walk about. Also, the cruise is handy, but the first one is not handy. The cruise is handy, but you need more care. But when it comes to lantern, you can carry it and move anywhere you want to go. From there, innovation took us to the age of, because I'm explaining this, some of us want to ask, how do I know that it is much better than others? Look at lantern. Nobody will argue that lantern is better than this cruise. Nobody will argue that the cruise was better than firewood. Imagine someone carrying firewood in hand now, is burning and is using it to trace his way in darkness. People will laugh at him. So from there, from lantern, we move to the era of incandescent bulb. Incandescent bulb, though we still have them today, the 60 watts, the 100 watts, and so on, consuming power. From there, we got to this age of having a reading lamp. Instead of having this and lighting the whole place up, entering your eye, we got to the era of reading lamp that can be focused, adjusted to one's taste. From there, we go to this era of what? Power saver. Power saver bulb. No one will ever believe that this kind of round bulb can now be twisted like this. Power saver bulb. And this is what is reigning today. If you try to conserve energy, you use power saving bulb. That's innovation through history for us to understand. And so when we say that innovation has brought us the first abundance based currency in the form of the TBC, I think we understand now. Okay, let's go proper into our topic. The elite have succeeded in gathering 99% of all the wealth in the world to themselves, leaving us the 99% of the world population with only 1% of the money left over to share between ourselves. This is incredible. How can the elite, a representation of 1% of world population, gathering 99% of the total world wealth to themselves, leaving 1% for the 99% population of the world to begin to share? What an injustice. That's an injustice. Just like the crickets were visiting the ants to perpetrate their own injustice on them. It's frightening to face just how evil the elite are, considering the amount of power they have accumulated in possessing so much wealth and influence in our world. The internet is loaded with exposure of just how evil they are in how they use that wealth and influence. When you consider how this elite, how they're using the amount of power they have accumulated to themselves through wealth and influence in our world, it terrifies one. It terrifies one. If you want this, just go to the internet. You will have access to just how evil they are. You'll be you'll be terrified. You'll be frightened when you access those evil they've been perpetrating, those elites. Get on internet, you see all these things. You know that it was not formed. If we liken the above bug life clip to the elite, so we are taking those crickets to be the elite and the ants now to be the general populace, myself and yourself. These elites are the grasshoppers, and they have taken 99% of all the foods, and the ants gathered, which only leaves the ants just 1% of the food they gathered to be shared among themselves, all the ants. Okay, the grasshoppers in the picture above represents the elite. And when you see it, they will gather themselves against the ant. Imagine grasshoppers also eat leaves, but now they will descend to go amid the ants in their colony, where they have gathered their food together that they will be able to eat during summer. You find out that they will go there and begin to oppress them, eating the food they've gathered for themselves. This is exactly the kind of evil that is being perpetrated by these elites. The innovation of TBC is not in the technology of cryptocurrency, it is in how this currency is valued and priced. The innovation of this TBC is not just in the technology of what? Cryptocurrency. It is in how this currency is valued and priced. The innovation is in how we value it and how it is being priced. TBC is the first abundance based currency and have tied its value to community growth and not the market. This is the difference. Here is the secret. Why is it always growing in value? It is because it is abundance based, because of how it is priced, because of how it is valued, and also because it is tied to community growth and not the market. It's tied to the number of the community we have. When an additional member is added to the TBC, the value increases. When another member is added, paid member is added to the community, the value also increases. Therefore, this is why it is an abundance based currency. It is tied to the growth of the community, not the market, not the exchange market. And I stress that again, not the exchange market. And that is why we have that article on that. I've made a broadcast on it that we don't need an exchange. And so don't pressure us to put this currency in the exchange market. We don't need that. If you enter the market, you are already opening yourself up for the elite to buy most of the stakes and begin to control the value again. Now, the mission of TBC is to end poverty globally. What do I say? The mission of TBC is to end poverty globally. That is the mission. That is the purpose. To end what? Global poverty, or to end poverty globally. And we hope to achieve that in this year 2018. It is achievable. We can do it. This year 2018, we hope to end poverty. Now, let's talk about the purpose of TBC. Why was TBC created in the first place? I am the creator of TBC. TBC is my idea. Why do I have this? That's the admin talking there, not from Nigeria. So it is the voice of admin now. I am the creator of TBC. TBC is my idea. I was born into a family, poor family within my country. Growing up poor was a real challenge for me. Eventually, I was able to rise above poverty. I became a millionaire. I found that building teams was the easiest way to create wealth on purpose. I also spent an unusual amount of time researching why the world is the way it is. Way more time than what the available average person will be willing to do. This is the admin here saying he conceived the idea of the TBC, created it. Why? Because he was born into a poor family. grew up under that same poor condition. And he knew the challenges involved. And from this, he came to the realization of the fact that building teams was the easiest way to create wealth on purpose. And here we are after recession times without number. Why is this world the way it is today? Why is it not according to the thought of God? Why is it not according to what God proposed in his heart before to do? And at the end of the day, he got to the reality of what has actually happened. He did this times without number, more than any average person would be willing to do. And then I courageously faced the truth. The truth is scary. The truth is scary. Courageously, the admin was able to face the truth. Now, once you know the agenda of the elite, you feel like an ant, almost powerless to do anything about the evils of this world. Once you were able to discover the agenda of these elites, you feel like, what can I do to change it? I'm just an ordinary person. You see yourself as if you are just an ant before them. Just like the spies of Israel went to discover Canaan, and they came back that we are just like, they are all giants. We are just like grasshoppers before them. Thank God for Joshua and Caleb, who came and said, out of 10, only 2 say we are more than able. Now, like us to also know that on this platform, we Tibetians are more than able to end global poverty. We are more than able. Now, let's go on. We are led to believe that there are authorities we can count on to bring justice to this world. Unfortunately, so many of these so-called authorities work under the elite, and many don't even realize that. There are many brave info warriors spreading the news about the elites and exposing just how bad they are in our world. I truly appreciate the awareness campaigns they run. What are we talking about? There are many information warriors who today have been on the net everywhere, spreading the news about these elites, exposing them and giving us an awareness, campaigning against them. But awareness won't change a thing in this world. A poor person only feels more frustrated the more they become aware of what's going on in this world. The problem is not isolated to just one country, race, or religion worldwide. Like a disease, the evils at the top is not isolated to just one country, race, or religion. These evils are pervasive worldwide. Like a disease, the evils at the top of the structure of mankind spread war, crime throughout the entire body of humanity. What are we talking about? Awareness only wouldn't help. Why? Once the poor people hears about the truth and they know the truth, they become more frustrated that nothing can be done. These same problems are the same all over the nations of the world. The problems is the same. These evils are pervasive worldwide, just like a disease. These evils spread war and crimes all through the entire body of humanity. Currently, the people of Earth are in currently the people of Earth are in the Middle East of so many conflicts with each other. They all fail to see the source of all these conflicts. That's the divide and conquer strategy, working very well for the elites. Divide and conquer. That's their strategy. So that the people will not realize. Are you able to look past whatever conflict you may fall in and see the bigger picture? I hope so. You need to understand that all conditions are temporary. The condition of your life will either get better or worse, depending mostly on the choices you make in life. I may have been born poor, but I don't need to die in poverty. You don't need to die in poverty. You also may have been born poor. You don't need to die in poverty. It's up to me to change that condition. And I did. You can do the same with any aspect of your personal life. Consider this. How about changing the level of your personal security? Who do you trust with your security? Well, if you only trust yourself, then you are as secure as a single ant standing alone. If you are expecting government to take care of your security, at the very least, you have set yourself up for great disappointment. Don't get me wrong. I am not anti-government. We need to face the facts, just like the ants in that clip above. We will have more protection if we unite and stand together as one for our security, regardless of our nation, race, or religion. We need to come together in one body of protection for all for one and one for all for one and one for all. There is no need to sacrifice our respective freedoms to gain the security by coming together. In fact, freedom expands with unity. Let me make this clear too. I am not an advocate of one mind and one NWO government. That is the opposite of what I am talking about. There is safety in numbers. There is what? Safety in numbers. At this time, we have close to about 250,000 members. That was then in TBC, but now it's over 3 million in TBC. And that is a significant number. We all have been asked to unite around one thing, the membership agreement. Yet, some have not understood the importance of that agreement and have not honored it. We are cleaning our own house now to remove those dishonest members. Once we fully unite around the membership agreement, it will naturally result in abundance for all. Some people are just too impatient to see what we are building and have abused TBC. Please, let us all unite together because there is power in unity. Upholding this our membership agreement that the value will always grow, and also no one should abuse this. If you want to understand better on that, you can go ahead to read on that blog that talks about don't break the foundation of TBC. And the foundation is this agreement. Get to the blog and read about it. Please understand this. The purpose of TBC is protection. In the movie Box Life, the ants eventually won the battle, and they deserve it. We can win too, not just by the power of unity, but also in the principle of funding our personal security. TBC creates wealth fast and also automatically. TBC will make you rich and powerful as an individual, and the unity of mass quantities of rich and powerful people will overtake the agendas of the elite and spoil them. Once we reach our goal of uniting 1 billion people, the achievement of ending poverty will be within our grasp. Once we complete that mission, we will become an unstoppable force to do good in this world. As our members become more educated, they will learn how to become sovereign, and then everything will change for the better. So, stand with us. Stand with TBC and know, stand with us, stand with TBC, and know that our purpose is that we are here to protect each other. And one day, we will become a force of nation to bring goodness into our collective world. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe right now you have understanding about the purpose of the TBC, and that it is for protection. Many are those elites that has risen against us, waging silent war or secret war against us. But if we're able to unite together, if we're able to understand the purpose, we'll be patient enough, work at it, and the battle will be given them back, is making sure that we enlighten others and bringing them on board, pulling 1 billion people on board this TBC. By the time we do that, with our number, just like those ants against the grasshopper, we will definitely win. Definitely win. We can do it. We can do it together. And united will stand. United will stand. No longer business as usual for those elite to play the pranks of divided and conquer upon us. Today, let's be determined, since we have known the purpose of this TBC, that it is for protection. Lay hold on TBC as your shield of protection. Bring others on board, and then let us unite together and fight against these precarious elites, and let us live a life of abundance, eradicating poverty globally, fulfilling the purpose of God here on earth. I'd like to say thank you for listening, and this is the voice of the TBC Royal Ambassador, all the way from Nigeria. I'd like to tell you that I love you. It's because you are there that I am always here to give this live chat. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.